And we're live. We'll
Hell
pretend
yeah.
like we just didn't talk for 30 seconds or
Yeah.
whatever.
Sweet.
How are you doing today?
Doing good, man. I had a very restful I guess Easter weekend.
Oh yeah,
Uh
yeah.
didn't have any alcohol, no booze.
I
Felt
haven't either.
yeah, felt great to just, you know,
Just
not
just
be
be
tired.
healthy.
Yeah, yeah. Not be hungover. Um although I did do a sleep study at home so they can tell me how bad my sleep apnea is or not.
Oh really?
And then yeah, so I know it's bad. I just want him to
Yeah.
finally, help me with something
Oh yeah.
because I know what some of my buddies they have CPAP machines and they're like, dude,
Yep.
it's a life changing thing.
Yeah.
So I was
You
like,
they send you home with one of those machines, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a little suitcase thing.
Yeah.
You put it on your finger for
And then
the
you look like Darth Vader when you put that
yeah,
mask on.
yeah, dude, it's pretty
Hopefully
cool,
you
man.
don't lay hopefully you don't like to sleep on your side or on your face or whatever. Like I kind of like sleep on my I kind of sleep on my stomach almost, but what
Really?
can you do,
No,
right? You
dude.
can't have it all.
Yeah, I sleep on my back, so it's yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah. I'm
Hmm.
sure it'd be worth the trade anyways, even if you didn't. So,
Oh yeah,
but anyways,
cool.
yeah, we're here to talk about a movie that literally nobody asked us to talk about. And that's
That's what's
okay.
funny about that. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I don't do things for popularity or I don't talk about things because they're popular. I talk about things that I want to talk about.
right,
And so we're talking about Monsters from 2010. I have
right.
this two-disc version, which I wish I was able to send this version to you because it's kind of cool. The second disc has some pretty cool stuff on it.
Really?
Which I'm not usually like a bonus disc guy,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's pretty cool. It's got but of course, it's got your typical behind the scenes visual effects interview with the director. But what I thought was pretty cool was the director went to the New York Comic Con, which is one of the biggest Comic Cons in the world.
Right.
I'm assuming in probably 2010 or 2011 or whatever to talk about the movie, but it's actually a pretty cool bonus disc.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, not a movie that I really have heard anyone talk about. I think I found out about it. I don't know if you ever watch any of those YouTube channels that are like they just talk about like different movies of different categories. Like, oh, we're gonna show you 30 monster movies, or
Yes.
I don't remember which category this one fell in, but I'm
Yeah.
sure this movie could probably be mislabeled in a lot of ways, but either way, it,
Yeah.
it kind of caught my attention. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go track that movie down, and I did, and I've seen it twice now, and I just it's not perfect, but I
Right.
really enjoy it.
So something that I wanted to add was like the cover art on their on the DVD or
The cover's not great.
no, it led
Yeah,
me to believe that this is going to be some sort of comedy,
yeah,
some sort of movie that I just didn't think expect it to be what it was.
or a schlocky monster movie,
Sure.
like oh my god,
Yeah.
run.
Yeah, and I was like thinking, okay, but what I did, I went in open minded,
Yeah,
and again, I tell you, I
that's the
saw the
way to do it.
reviews afterwards. I finished the movie and I saw reviews, and I was like, I don't think these people understood what the movie was about. You know,
I think they invested way too much in the
the
just
idea of monsters.
preconceived notions,
Yes.
which is like, don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, and I think this is around that time, when Cloverfield had just come out,
Yeah,
and stuff like that was starting to hit. So
yeah,
I think maybe the first Godzilla maybe came out of the ones that have been popping out lately.
yeah.
It
Not
might
the
have been
Matthew
around.
Broderick one or
No, no, no. It was
the
like with
2014
the
one.
yeah. There you go. That's the one
That
with the
oddly
girl.
enough, the guy that directed this directed that.
Yeah. Okay. See, so like I could see like people are like into monsters at this time. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
This movie's barely. It's not really a monster. I mean, it is a monster movie, but it's not a typical monster movie.
it's not the typical one. Yeah.
Yeah, it just isn't. It's more about a lot of other things, really. It's kind of political, I think you could
Hmm.
say.
Yep.
It's kind of not that far off. Like this is a scenario that could happen. Like
Yeah.
I what I notice is that Okay, so basically the contaminated zone from this movie where the where all the shit goes down is on the border, basically but more on the Mexican side of the
Right.
US Mexican border. And what I take, and maybe this is just being kind of nihilistic, but I take it like, okay, it was an American what do you call it, probe. So the US government is basically responsible for all this, but I kind of took it like the US government was kind of like, well, I mean, it's on your land, so
Yeah.
you know what I
You
mean?
deal with it. Yeah.
We'll help you maybe a little bit, but I mean, sorry,
And they're hiding behind this bigger wall now.
yeah.
This bigger, massive wall.
Did that kind of blow
Yeah.
your mind a little bit, the wall?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
was
this was
like, holy
pre,
shit.
this was pre
Yeah.
disaster wall that we have
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was kind of
And
like, oh my gosh.
the wall that we have right now, because I'm not that far from here. I'm like about a mile or two from the closest one.
Yeah.
And
So you've actually seen it in person.
yeah. Oh, I drive by it like every day. Like I see it every day. So
Oh, wow.
it's a usual, because I'm right next to Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in
So
Texas, so yeah.
yeah, El Paso is like right there, dude.
Yeah.
And so ours is about, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 feet up.
Oh, okay. I
And
never
it's
really
like, yeah,
I never really
it's
knew the specs on that. I've seen
it's really
pictures.
weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Did you like watch it being built and stuff? And
Yeah, they did it slowly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What a waste of taxpayer money. But we
Yeah.
won't get into that, right?
Sure. Yeah, I get
but
it.
I mean, that is what it is. It's
Yeah.
that money could have been used for a million other things.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so Monsters came out in 2010. If I didn't say that, it was directed by Gareth Edwards, who after this would go on to do the Rogue One movie, Star Wars Rogue One, which is really successful. The
Right.
Godzilla 2014 Godzilla, which is pretty successful as well.
Mm-hmm.
Stars Scoot McNairy, who if you look him up on like IMDb, he is a really busy dude. I mean,
I've seen him in a lot of different things.
yeah, I mean, this guy does. I couldn't believe it actually. Like I'd seen him in a few things, but I looked him up
Yeah.
on IMDb. I'm like, holy shit! I mean, he's probably done 100 things in the
Yeah, he's
last
in a
10
lot
years.
of things. And it's funny because
He's a hardworking dude.
I had just seen Argo last week.
Yeah, he was in Argo.
And I was like, oh yeah, it's the dude from Argo. Yeah, but he's in a lot of different things.
Yeah, the recent things that I know him from was Argo, and also he was in small part, but he was in Batman versus Superman. He plays like a cop. Yeah, he's got a couple lines, but
yeah,
I mean, he gets some good camera time, but it's small part.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. And I think he's really good. I think he's a really good actor.
Yeah.
I hope he gets maybe sometime a chance to do something big. But just going by the work that he's done, I mean, he's not hurting or anything.
No, I can tell. Yeah, you can just tell.
he gets work. He has no trouble getting, TV shows. He's done animated. He's done voice acting for animated stuff.
Yeah, I can see that. I could see that.
Yeah, talented guy. I think I liked him, and also stars Whitney Able, who I wasn't familiar with. It looks like she started about maybe 5 years after Scoot did in the early 2000s, and it seems like she is just like, I'm just gonna work when I want. It seems like she does like one project per year.
Yeah, I saw that. It was very sparse.
Yeah, but if you notice, I thought it was funny. She had a really busy year in 2010. She did like 10 things in 2010, but every other year of her acting career, she'll do like one, maybe two projects per year. I'm sure she's just like, I'm doing fine,
Yeah.
I don't need to do a million things.
I started noticing that too with actors, I think, in that they're doing less now. Or some of them are just retiring younger, or they're just not doing it anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. That whole side of filmmaking is just strange to me. You know what I mean?
It's different now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because remember, even up until the early 2000s, if there was an actor that was popular, he was doing 5-6 movies a year.
Oh yeah.
And blockbusters even. Remember Colin Farrell? Remember when he had his run?
Oh yeah.
You couldn't escape that guy.
Yeah. He had Phone Booth, and I think he had like
around the time of Phone Booth.
Like The Recruit or something like that. I don't know. He had a bunch of movies.
Yeah.
That came out.
And
Same thing with Nicolas Cage, like in the 90s.
Nicolas Cage.
And he's still fucking pumping him out.
Nicolas Cage is not a human. He doesn't count.
Yeah, right.
He's an alien. He's an alien from some other planet. He doesn't understand time though the way that we do.
No shit.
But yeah, I avoided Colin Farrell for the longest time, but he's actually a really good actor. I would owe that guy an apology if I ever met him in person. Same with like Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
It's always the really like handsome guys. I'm always like, you're just,
Yeah.
you're just getting all this stuff because of the way you look. And then those guys turn out to do some really good, I mean, Brad Pitt's done some amazing work, and Colin Farrell has too. So
yeah,
often those guys I kind of write off for a while, and then I'm like, okay, when they prove themselves, I'm like, I was wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Whitney, yeah, not nearly as busy as Scoot, but I thought she was really good. I thought they were both really good.
I thought so too. I'll tell you this though. Early on, it did remind me of like a Silent Hill, Resident Evil, the way they looked.
Yeah, that's a good
characters,
point.
Characters
if
from
you
Resident
put like
Evil
a
4.
police uniform on her, she would look exactly like the cop from. You probably know her name. I can't remember.
I don't remember the name either.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
Jill, maybe no, not Jill. Someone else.
She's got the blonde hair and the same haircut, and kind of short, little petite girl.
And then in like Resident Evil 4, the president's daughter gets kidnapped.
Oh, okay.
And she looks very similar to Whitney. So it's like kind of like parallels to like the short pixel cut hair, pixie cut.
Yeah.
She gets not kidnapped, but she kind of runs away. You surmise that she ran away. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty funny.
That's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, now that she's on my mind, like I'm drawing instant parallels to the police officer from Resident Evil. I'm like, she would have been perfect to play that role too.
Yeah.
So basically what this is about, we kind of touched on it a few minutes ago. A U.S. research probe sent out into space to take samples. Doesn't really, give you details on where it goes. That's not important. Right. Samples from space, which is something that we do. And so the probe crash landed on the U.S.-Mexican border, but more on the Mexican side, which I suppose that's something that could easily happen. I don't work for NASA, but the premise is fairly realistic.
Sure.
Like it doesn't feel like a fantasy movie or anything like that. So it crashes and contaminates the entire area, not the whole world, but it doesn't really say. Let's just say that part of Mexico. So it contaminates it with alien life. You get to see it. This is one of those kind of more is less movies. It didn't have a huge budget. It only had $500,000 budget. Right. Which I was talking to you about, it performed terribly in the US and Canada, but it ended up making $5 million, worldwide. So obviously it was popular somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, like I said to you, probably in some of the Asian countries, which is good. They probably saved this movie.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a flop. You might think it was, but worldwide it wasn't. And some of the cool technical aspects of this movie is that there's only really 2 actual actors in this movie, which is the 2 leads. Almost everyone else they're not actors at all. They're literally locals, Mexican locals. And I don't know if any of them had any acting experience. So that probably saved a lot of money in the budget.
That dude, man, that they negotiate with, I thought he was pretty good.
I did too. Yeah. The guy with the boats.
Yeah, he played an asshole.
I thought that too. Yeah, I'm like, I wonder if this guy is just a natural, or if maybe he has done a little bit of, because he was an older guy too. But
yeah. No, I agree. That was pretty cool actually. I kind of noticed that some works better than others.
Yeah.
That mom, when they first ran into at night, I guess are we allowed to say certain things?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about spoilers or anything.
Okay, so when they get off the train, and the girl's like, "Oh, it's cold. It's cold." They just walk up to this house.
Yeah.
And this lady is like, "Oh yeah," she just welcomes them in. And again, another something to talk about is another talking point there is how welcoming some of the people are.
Yeah.
And how helpful they can be.
Which not to be nihilistic again, but I feel like if this was on the other side of the border, maybe the US, maybe they would not have been met with the same help,
Probably.
I grew up in a huge Hispanic area, and Mexican people are just like that.
Yeah.
As long as they feel like you're not judging them or that you're not after them, they'll feed you, they'll give you stuff,
I tell you what, and we're huggers too.
Yeah.
People
I mean,
are they get weirded out by that. Yeah, but we're not.
I mean, that's a realistic thing. You know, I had hundreds of moments like that, you know, growing up as a kid,
Yeah,
getting fed by people that didn't have any more money than my parents did,
yeah,
but
yeah,
you want to have dinner, sure, here, let me send you home with some stuff, like,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, they're just like that.
yeah. And you get to see some of that. And what's
Yeah.
great is like Whitney. I guess apparently she already knew some Spanish, which
Oh,
oddly
okay.
enough is you're starting to figure out how does she even know some
Yeah.
Spanish already.
She's speaking like fluent Spanish in the
Yeah,
movie.
she's understanding. So I thought that was
Yeah.
interesting. And it's interesting is like I think that had to have happened, or this movie would not have gone anywhere
That's a good
because
point. Yeah.
she had to like guide the whole time.
That's a good
Um,
point. I never thought about that, because who's
yeah,
to say that anyone on the crew had very, had knew Spanish at all?
yeah.
That's a good
Um,
point. I never actually would have thought of that.
but yeah, you get to see a lot of this. I mean, I love to see the character progression between the two
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
Um, I think obviously there's this whole idea that is it really a because this is one of the things I'll tell everybody right now. Don't go
Yeah.
in thinking that it's an action film.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Don't
it's
do that to
literally
yourself.
yeah. Don't
And
it,
even the very beginning might make you think that. The very
yeah,
beginning where it shows the soldiers,
yeah,
but still keep an open mind.
yeah. And again, I think to me it's kind of like it's an extraction. It's like he's trying to get her out of there,
Yeah.
but shit keeps happening, and it's like
Yeah.
they keep toughing it out, man. And you get a really beautiful vistas. You get to see like the
Yeah.
jungle, the pyramid. Like you get to see a lot of really cool things.
Yeah, there's a lot. They Gareth Edwards, the director, really made the most of the surroundings and
Mhm.
everything. He did a good job of utilizing that small budget.
Yeah.
I think he came up with some really good ideas to make a better movie, and to save money.
Mhm.
Like, let's use the landscapes, let's use the local, not use, but let's
Yeah.
utilize the locals and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and let's make this movie feel more realistic. And another thing is that and this, I don't know if this frustrated the actors or if they knew it from the start, but
Mhm.
there was most of the acting between those two was improvised,
Wow.
intentionally. The Gareth Edwards gave them a little bit of direction, but it wasn't fully scripted, and he did that
Yeah.
intentionally. He wanted the movie to have more of an immediate, realistic feel.
You
And
know.
like you said, sometimes it works better than others, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's got to be a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
It's overall, I would say it's always believable, but it's better sometimes than others. But
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting.
That's pretty cool actually, because I saw some of the parts where you know they they get to the where they're gonna get on the boat,
Yeah,
right? They have a night out,
yeah,
and he's all like, "Hey,
and to know each other better, and
he's like, yeah, can I sleep in there with you?" And
yeah,
you
he's
know,
just like getting on her the whole time.
yeah, he's trying to get it, and he's like, "Is
Even
there
though she's
any
his
monsters
boss's
inside?"
daughter.
Yeah, I know, right? It was just fun. It was
Yeah, but it wasn't
the
like inappropriate, or like
no,
it felt like you were watching like two people that just met, really, like
yeah,
that you were just watching a story of two people.
yeah, yeah.
I
I
thought
liked
that
it.
Scoot, he really reminded me of, he reminds me of David Duchovny.
Yeah,
How he kind
really,
of has that, like, he's got a kind of a dry,
yeah,
delivery, and like he's not monotone, but bordering on
almost.
monotone.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
kind
know
of reminded
exactly.
me of
Yeah,
like early David Duchovny a little bit,
yeah,
which I'm a fan of, so I didn't
yeah,
mind
yeah.
that.
That's true.
But yeah,
I
so
didn't
you
pick
got
up on that.
Scoot. His name was, oh, did I not write down the actors' names? Whatever. So I'll just call him Scoot, because I don't. Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
he goes by his last name a lot of the time in the movie, but he's a reporter, not a
Mhm.
reporter, but he's a photographer that works for various publications. He's basically, from what I understand, I think he's already in Mexico taking pictures of
Yeah,
the contamination.
right,
He really is trying to get live pictures of the aliens, which is a
right.
hard thing to do, obviously. And he gets a phone call, basically like, "Hey, the boss's daughter is there. She was on vac. I don't know if they say why she was there. Probably vacation or something, and
Mhm.
she's stranded there now because of everything that's going on. We want you to escort her back." And he's just like, "Fuck that."
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to do that. That's not why I'm here. And, I never
He's
agreed
like,
to that. And
he just says
they're like,
no.
well, if you want a job here, then you're going to do it. And
Yeah, pretty
so,
much.
yeah, he agrees. He goes and meets her. And I think he's kind of taken with her instantly because,
Yeah.
there's the part where he goes up to her hospital room and he's like, hey, I work for your dad. Just want to make sure you're okay. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm all right. And he walks away and then he goes back,
He just takes off walking. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was his plan. Like, I just want to make sure she's okay, and then I'm gonna go home. But then he
Right.
sees her, and I think he's like, "Oh, okay, I kind of like her. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna okay, maybe I will escort her, back to
Yeah.
the U.S."
Yeah.
And yeah, so the bulk of the movie is just about them, trying to get back to the U.S. with very little money, very little resources, and I think that almost kind of touches on. Um, other people that
Yeah.
attempt to cross the border and how
Yeah.
hard it is, and what it's like,
Yeah. I mean,
monsters aside,
it's one of those things where it's the struggles,
yeah,
and anybody in a crisis zone, of course, Afghanistan, anywhere else around the
yeah,
world, the struggles
yeah,
that they have to go through to get out or to survive.
yeah,
Um, it's very interesting that there's a lot of social commentary here,
yes, I like
um,
that.
and obviously the wall was a huge one.
Yeah,
Um, but
like I said, pre
yeah,
US wall.
yeah,
So that was kind of
that's
strange.
yeah, yeah. and and to me, this idea of, now I'm not sure if I'm jumping the gun here, but this idea of these these beings, these aliens, really aren't really harming anybody
Yeah, in fact, one
because
of them says in the movie, remember, he goes, they mostly leave you alone if you don't fuck with them,
yes,
and then they just kind
yeah.
of like, really? Okay.
So this idea that they're getting agitated, they're
Yeah,
getting fucking rowdy, is because of the jets,
yeah,
the chemicals,
yeah.
they're just being antagonized,
Being
basically.
attacked, yeah.
Yeah, and
Basically,
so
like, they never wanted to be here,
yeah, they're
but
just
but
yeah, you
but
get
now
to
they're
see it.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah. What I'd be
and
interested in is finding out how these, giant aliens came from, like, samples, like, bacteria samples or whatever. But, it's sci-fi. It wasn't supposed to be it wasn't supposed to be
yeah,
a documentary, but it does have that feeling, so you kinda do it does make you think, but it doesn't go hard into the science or anything like that, which
right,
is probably a good thing because most movies that do try to go into the science, it's
yeah,
just tons of plot holes and
yeah.
unrealistic bullshit. And so I think it's kind of good that they actually mostly didn't go into the science. They were just like, this is what happened. All right, now we're gonna move on.
I think it's what you said earlier. It's less is more, and you get
Mhm.
to think, you kind of connect the dots yourself, and you kind of
Yeah,
put it envision it in your own way.
it's not
What
important how it happened, but
Yeah,
it's
it happened.
yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean I keep wanting to call them monsters because that's the title of the movie, and I'm also thinking that like that's probably a horrible title to give the movie itself.
sure.
I mean, do you think that that's an
Yeah,
effective title at all?
you know, maybe
Where
we
there
can
could
go
have
back to
multi meanings, right?
exactly. Maybe we can
Yeah,
go back to, for example, Frankenstein,
that's true.
where it's
We
Doctor.
call him the monster,
Yeah, and also
but he
you
isn't.
have exactly, you have the what do you call it? The story at the end of the day is you're trying to figure out, just like in Return of the Living. No, I'm sorry, Night of the Living Dead. You're trying to figure out who the real monster is
That's
at
true.
this point, and it's like the examining, self examination at that point. Like,
I guess you could say it's called monsters from the human perspective. Like
sure,
these are monsters to us, but
yeah.
to them, we're probably monsters
Oh
too.
hell yeah, dude, easily, easily.
Yeah,
Especially we're fucking hurting them. We're antagonizing them. We're
yeah,
you know, and
yeah,
they're just trying to love each other, and you could see there when they were embracing,
yeah. That part was really cool, where it
yeah,
shows the two. They've probably been looking for each other, and they found
exactly,
the
yeah,
two aliens. Yeah, found each other, and they were just kind
yeah.
of like whatever, embracing or whatever.
Yeah, and these, so for people who haven't seen it, they look like big octopuses or octopi. I don't know how you would say it.
Yeah,
They
just
look
kind of
like an
floating.
octopus. Yeah, huge.
Yeah,
Um, so there is kind of this giant, what is it, Lovecraft kind of thing, because they're so huge. You know what I mean?
yeah, and tentacly and
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, and then it was cool, just like I said, just because they weren't. they really weren't, out to hurt anybody,
No,
no
not at
more
all.
than the animals on this planet try to
And,
hurt us,
and again, probably again, social commentary.
Yeah,
Illegal aliens, not trying to hurt anybody. The whole idea.
yeah.
It's
That's a
but
good point too. I never really
yeah,
thought about that. I think
yeah,
there's a lot more to think about than just watching the movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot. Yeah, and I like that though. I like I think Romero did that a lot too in his movies.
Oh, totally. Oh,
With
totally.
Day of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Dawn of the Dead, where it's like
So
there's a
much.
shopping mall, right?
Yeah. Yep.
We're just
The
mindless consumers.
economy and
Yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah. That was. It's. I love to watch movies where it's just more than just face value.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Yeah, Romero was all about that. Yeah, trying to
yeah,
making it look like humans are kind of almost the real zombies,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
going to the mall and
yeah.
just buying stuff and yeah.
And I liked Savini's remake
Oh, I love it.
with the cute little redhead, and she's
Yeah.
just like she's disgusted at the very end when they're
Yeah.
just shooting like the rednecks. They're
Yeah.
shooting them just for sport, and she's just
Yeah.
like,
Which,
and that's
that would totally happen, I know
yes,
people like that,
yeah,
the
yeah,
people that shoot
totally,
cats because they think it's funny, like
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, Romero was a master, definitely.
yeah,
And I love that, oddly enough, Savini wasn't a filmmaker, although he did direct a few movies, but that movie, that remake he did was fantastic.
I loved it, dude. Yeah, for sure.
I know people that actually prefer it to the original, or
Yeah,
at least think that it gives it a major run for its money.
yeah. I think so. I think it does. I think so.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
is, I mean, saying a lot for a special effects guy to go up against an actual
an OG,
filmmaker. Yeah, that's I mean, not many people would be able to pull that off.
right?
So yeah, I thought the monsters, or again, I keep calling them monsters. I thought the aliens looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Obviously there was a budget restraint.
Hmm.
They didn't want to show them any more than they needed to. So I thought that the scenes that they were in were really effective.
Yeah, because of that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You kind of get to see them more and more. You see dead ones earlier on, and you kind of get sort of an idea of what they look like.
yeah.
I was kind of expecting maybe there would be numerous species, but
Types, different types. Yeah.
yeah, but that would have been more of an action movie. There was no need to
Hmm.
show different varieties or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so my favorite scene was probably at the end where they're in the convenience store, and that whole
Yeah.
sequence was probably for me kind of the highlight of the movie.
Yeah, I think so.
So much happens in that like 10 minutes with
Yeah, and it kind of gives you it's too good.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's too good. Like what's gonna happen right now? 'Cause,
yeah. And you
yeah,
got a lot going on with the human, actors. She's supposed to be she's engaged to someone who
yeah,
obviously doesn't appreciate her, so
yeah.
you kind of get to see that kind of fall apart. You can tell
Man,
from right from the start, it's like,
yeah.
okay, yeah, this is not going well for her. And then you got, the guy, he's struggling with
Trying to keep it together, dude, talking to
yeah,
his son,
yeah,
you know.
struggling with his son. And that was a pretty heartbreaking story where it's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
he's
that
got this son, but he's like, his son just thinks that they're friends because
yeah.
he's not allowed to tell him that he's his dad. And yeah,
Yeah, the that sucks right there.
yeah, that
You
was
know,
heavy.
that was heavy. And but it did again, it creates the characters, it
Yeah,
brings them, it rounds out the characters, and then not only that, you get to see, which I suspected from the beginning, that you know the girl, she didn't want to go home.
no, yeah,
You
it's like she was
know,
in no hurry to go there. She
she was like,
almost hiding,
yeah,
really.
I feel like she left. I feel like she ran away. She
Yeah.
wasn't sure that she wanted to do this, to get married.
She was almost
And
mad when she was at the hospital when he showed up. She was
yeah,
almost mad. Like, she didn't
yeah,
wanna be bothered,
she's like, "Fuck, he found me." Yeah,
Yeah,
and then I mean that last part,
yeah,
right at the end,
yeah,
where she tells him straight up, "I don't want to fucking go home."
yeah.
I
She
mean,
they'd rather be stranded wandering,
yeah,
the US-Mexican border than go home and be safe. And
yeah,
yeah, and where they could have went wrong, and they didn't, but where I think a lot of filmmakers would have went wrong nowadays is they would have made a movie like this, but they would not have fleshed out the characters.
Yeah.
They would have just been faceless, nameless, good looking people with no personality,
Jason
and
Momoa.
yeah.
Somebody
They
like
could have
that.
easily done something like that and just made this movie almost completely forgettable.
Yeah.
And because that was the most important thing, really, was again was there really only is two characters in the movie, so
really there is, and I thought it was funny though. It's like there would be, I think there should be at least movies where you get nobodies to start,
yeah,
and there's just some movies where I feel like, for example, Evil Dead Rise. I don't know any of the actors in that movie.
I don't either.
I don't know who they are, and
Yeah.
I think that's fucking great because I
It
don't
is.
want to have to worry about that.
Yeah, I know. Well, like some of the famous actors and stuff, they've gotten so big that they're almost distracting now.
Yeah.
And like the movie just becomes about them,
Yeah.
but not in a good way. But it just becomes about them and their vanity, and
Exactly.
there's a director. I don't know are you familiar with Alejandro Jodorowsky? Does that name ring a bell?
The name doesn't. What is
He's
it?
he's a Chilean director. He doesn't do a lot nowadays. He's old. He's like 80 or 90 now. So he did a lot in not even a lot. He did a handful of movies like in the 70s. They're really cool, at least in my opinion, really cool, very, very art house type movies. But I remember watching an interview with him one time where he said, I prefer to use actors that no one knows because they'll listen to you and they'll do what you tell them.
Yeah.
You get someone famous and they're gonna question the orders you give them. They're gonna they're gonna put their ego into it and they're gonna be a pain to work with. And he's like, I like people that they want to be there and they want to do what you tell them to. They want your vision to come.
Exactly.
To come into play, not what they can make it.
Right.
So I thought ever since, and I only read that interview maybe a couple years ago, and I was like, oh, wow, that's a really good point.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if, again, it goes back to what the director's vision it is.
Mm-hmm.
You want to follow that, you want to make that happen. So that's true.
Yeah. That's around the time when I started to become a fan of directors, not so much actors, because, the director can make the movie what it is. Some actors are really good at what they do, but at the end of the day, most actors are not writing their scripts. They're not directing themselves. They're just, some of them are good at, I guess they're good at acting, but, if you don't have a director with a vision, you're not going to have a good movie, no matter. We've all seen movies that have great actors that are terrible. It's because, the actor can only do so much. You need to have a director with a vision, or else the movie falls apart.
How do you feel about, like, for example, Clint Eastwood and Mel Gibson? They're actors, directors. They have had a very good run.
I'm a fan of both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen all of Clint Eastwood's directed movies, but they've all gotten they've all won awards and stuff.
Right. It's weird that he's just has a knack for making.
Yeah.
I haven't seen all of his either. I think the last 4 maybe I haven't seen.
Yeah, same here probably.
So,
what did I see? I can't remember. But
yeah, Gran Torino,
I didn't even see that. Yeah. Was it pretty good?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and even Ben Affleck, you could use him as an example.
Yeah.
I'm almost to the point where it's like I would rather him be a director than an actor because he's a good actor, but his movies are really good, and I would almost not want to see him be distracted from being able to do that.
Him and was it Matt Damon? They wrote Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, when they were I think they were teenagers still.
They were starting, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fucking great film, too.
It is a good movie. I've seen people say that, oh, that screenplay is terrible. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I don't see what's terrible about it. First of all, they were kids still. But second of all, I think it's like you just said, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's a hard movie to watch, it's so emotional and try doing something like that. You criticize that, but then what did you do when you were 19,
Yeah.
I couldn't even fucking write a term paper at school or whatever, much less much less a movie that won fucking awards,
Yeah, no shit.
Like, come on.
Yeah. And you got to give Robin Williams, man.
Yeah, I'm
Major
a big fan
props.
of Robin Williams.
Yeah, major props. Make that come alive.
I've been meaning to rewatch. Have you seen what's it called, World's Greatest Dad?
Yes.
That's an amazing movie.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to rewatch that. I've only seen it one time because it's one of those movies where it's like it's so good, but it's like it's not an easy watch.
It's a little weird. Yeah.
Well, it's just like devastatingly powerful, and
Yeah.
it's
Sure.
it's not something that you'd be able to handle watching
Yeah.
constantly or rewatching,
Yeah.
over and over again. But I've only seen it once and I loved it. I have it, and I'm like, I need to rewatch that soon because it's just that good. Some movies
Yeah.
that with me are like that, kind of like did you ever see Pig with Nicolas Cage?
Not yet.
No,
Not
okay.
yet.
Well, that's
I want
another
to see
one
it.
where it's like you might only ever watch it one time, but you'll be
Yeah.
glad that you did because
Okay.
it's well worth watching.
Yeah.
And then like even like The Whale that came out last year with Brendan Fraser.
Haven't seen that one yet.
It's another one that you might only watch one time, but it's not a movie you need to watch a bunch of times. But it's I would highly recommend watching it that one time, at least that one time. Yeah, I thought it was pretty fantastic. It's been nice kind of like watching. I'm still watching horror movies like constantly, but it's been nice kind of branching out a little bit. I'm glad that I finally started to do that.
Yeah. Actually, I just finished, and I haven't seen it in years. I had just finished watching The Shining.
Oh yeah, Shining's amazing.
We did, because what I started to do is like, if I could find movies in the wild, I'm gonna purchase them.
Oh, yeah.
But we have a Vudu account, and there's just some movies that are in 4K that are cheap. So I was like, fuck. I think I bought that one for $8 on 4K.
Wow, that's a really good deal.
I bought Heat in 4K for $5.
Wow.
So I was like,
do these like go onto your DVR or what? How does that work?
It's they're not, you don't technically own them.
Yeah.
But it's like it's in your account. So you can watch them whenever you want.
Yeah.
So I was thinking whenever I can, I'm gonna try to buy some like Evil Dead or something that I can watch there in 4K.
Yeah.
And then if I find the movie in the wild, I have the actual copy itself.
Yeah.
Whether it's on VHS or DVD, doesn't matter. But
like
the higher quality ones, I think I'm just gonna purchase them on Vudu and then still look for the.
Especially if you can get a good deal like that.
Yeah, dude, there was a lot of them, and that's why I was like, "Fuck!" I think right now Evil Dead is $14.99 for a 4K. So there's a lot of good deals right now. Yeah, and so like I have the TV might have the capability. So I figured, man, The Shining looked amazing.
Yeah, I bet.
That's something to tell you, dude.
I have not seen The Shining in 4K. I don't think I've even seen The Shining on Blu-ray. I think I've only watched it on DVD.
It's beautiful. I mean, it just fucking pops in. And the colors, how there's so many colors.
Yeah.
So I was like just amazed. The carpet, the blood, just like it's just, and really good, man. And that soundtrack's fucking scary, man. Let me tell you something.
It is. It is. So. I've really become a fan of like more visual movies over the last like 5 years or so. Yeah. It doesn't even matter if I understand them, like I've just become
visually beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's heavily visuul.
Yeah.
And it just kind of mesmerizes me.
Yeah.
So I mentioned Jodorowsky, and there's a movie called my favorite movie that he did was called it's called The Holy Mountain, and that was the movie that kind of did it, where I was like, all right, this is what I'm into now. I need to find more movies like this. Like maybe I don't understand everything that's going on. Maybe nobody does, but I'm like, I mean, it was like an acid trip of a movie.
Shit.
But I don't know if you ever watched Red Letter Media, but
no.
One of those guys, they're movie reviewers, and one of the guys he was talking about The Holy Mountain, and he said that's like, I can't remember what he said. I think he said it's like Ben-Hur on acid, basically. It's like this epic, super epic movie, but it's just fucking bonkers.
That's cool.
It's an amazing movie. It's arguably my favorite movie of all time at this point.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it'll blow your mind if you can appreciate it. I don't think it's not going to be for everyone, but if it's something you can get into, it's kind of like mind blowing, like in a life-changing way.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So ever since I saw that, I was like, man, I need to find more movies like this. If they exist, I need to find them.
Yeah.
And in ways, I have found movies kind of in that vein, or at least that hit me the same way. What was that one called? The Black Rainbow. I always forget the name of it. You saw Mandy, right?
No, I have not seen Mandy yet.
Okay, you should you should see Mandy. But that
Yeah.
director, his first movie, I think it was called The Black Rainbow, and that was another total psychedelic, crazy movie that I
Oh
also
shit.
really loved. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and other than that, I've also been watching like, did you ever see the Planet of the Apes movies?
Oof.
Like the modern ones,
Not the
not
modern
the old
ones.
ones.
Not the modern ones. I wanted to see. Actually, I think I might have seen the first of the series that they just recently came out.
Oh, okay.
I think
Yeah.
I might have seen the first one.
Complete 180. They're not anything like what I was just talking about, but that's just
Yeah.
another series that I've started, and I'm like, because I
Yeah.
avoided them when they came out. I was just like, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
And once I started hearing they're actually pretty good, I've been watching those, and they are really good. I'm actually
Yeah.
glad that I bought all three of them, and I still need to watch the other two, but the first one is really good.
I saw that you saw Dog Soldiers again.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking great, man.
yeah, I own it. I think I've only ever watched it once, and it was like years and years ago. So
Same.
it was almost like watching it for the first time again. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this movie's awesome. What
I
don't know what happened to Neil
burn,
Marshall. Yeah, it
so
is,
good.
but it's like it's perfect though. It's not boring ever. Like
Yeah.
it sets you up with the characters early on really
Mhm.
well. You get to spend a lot of time with them, before you see anything crazy, and you get kind of attached to those guys. And
Yeah, you learn not to, but yeah.
yeah.
I think this would be, if people are wanting action sci-fi monster film,
Dog Soldiers.
Dog Soldiers is it.
Yeah.
Man. There's a lot of
underrated, definitely.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
Neil Marshall's first movie, I don't know why he didn't just keep doing movies like that. Maybe he just lost the touch. The movies he puts out now are just trash.
That sucks.
Yeah, I don't really understand. You can go from like he did that, and then he did after that he did The Descent, which is arguably a classic.
Yeah, it's beautiful fucking film. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you do those two, and then you just kind of like just go downhill. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah. I like Descent 1 and 2, man.
I haven't seen the second one, actually.
So it takes place right after the first one.
Yeah.
So
he didn't direct the second one, but I'd still watch it.
There's good continuity. It's really fucking good. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I rewatched The Descent actually recently too.
Yeah.
And
I've seen it over the last few months. Yeah.
It holds up so fucking well.
Yeah.
Like I watched it by myself in the dark, because you got to watch that movie in the dark.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's such a tense movie. Like, it's terrifying.
It's very claustrophobic.
Yeah.
It's just like, and there's a couple of scenes, not gore necessarily,
right?
But the bone, like just stuff sticking out.
Oh yeah, the compound fracture scene.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
I was telling my son about that movie, and we both kind of were like, you could take the monsters out of that movie and it would still be terrifying.
Oh yeah. Because now it's like a matter of survival. How fucking getting out of here?
Yeah, getting lost in a cave. I mean, the way they set it up, where they get lost, not only lost in a cave, but lost in a cave that nobody fucking knows about.
Yeah, this cave system, and
they're like, we're fucked. No one is gonna save us.
Yeah, and not only that, I think the girls didn't know that there were gonna be those creatures inside.
No.
They had no clue that anything like that was supposed to be there. So it's supposed to be like authentic scares and
screams. And the whole way that the one character, she didn't mean to hurt them, but she fucked them over big time. By telling them that they were going to a different cave system. Her intentions were good. But she totally killed them.
Fucked them. I think it was the Asian girl, was it?
Yeah. She's like, well, I wanted it to be a surprise, and I totally get that. Like, she was totally trying to just do a thing for her friends.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she didn't take into consideration what happens if we get lost.
Yeah.
No one can come find us.
That little twist, or that little part that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
She's kind of like the alpha there in the.
She was super arrogant, and yeah. She let her arrogance get to her so much to where she, in her mind, there was no way this could go wrong.
Yeah.
Why would it go wrong? We're all very skilled, mountain climbers and all that.
Yeah.
but Jesus Christ. That is, I'm sure that's just something you don't do, even in that community.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah,
You
I've
don't
seen
do
a lot of they talk about the cave systems and stuff like that. People that go.
Oh, I have no interest in going in any
Oh
caves.
hell no. Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
And did you know that that movie was did you know that those caves were built on a set?
What?
Yeah, I would have thought that those were actual caves,
Yeah, yeah.
but they weren't.
Somebody
No, they built
scouted
them.
them, you know. Oh wow.
Yeah, they
Okay.
built them on a set in England, in London or something.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm
That's
like,
pretty
how do you?
hardcore, man. Yeah.
Yeah, how many of those? I wonder how much room that took up, or how many they had to build. I mean, they
Yeah.
had couldn't have been. And what do you make them out of? I'm guessing foam or something, painting,
Yeah,
but
color. But I mean, at the
it looks
same
real to
time,
me.
the prep work that it might have taken these girls to get used to
Yeah,
crawl through spaces,
yeah,
through, to not freak out, you know.
yeah.
Either way, I would have been freaking out. So
Because a lot of people are claustrophobic,
yeah.
even if it's just minor. You know, like I'm not super claustrophobic, but I still am to an extent.
I mean, I'll freak out if my fucking sweater, my pullover gets stuck. So like, there's
Yeah,
that, you know.
I've done that before
What?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I would not go in a cave, even if it was one where it's like, yeah, this is a touristy one and there's tons of people in there. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slip and fall. There's something
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'd go if it was like 100 people, but I don't. Even then, I doubt it. I have no interest in caves, anyways.
We have one close to here in New Mexico called Carlsbad Caverns,
I've heard of that.
and
I've heard.
it's just a windy. It winds down,
Oh, okay.
and once you're inside at the very bottom, it's like a restaurant and stuff like that. And you
Really?
can just yeah, that's really cool.
Wow. How far down do you go?
That I don't know, maybe a
Okay.
mile, but I mean, it's just it's not hard, and it's not like you're going through cave system. It's just huge.
Yeah.
It's
Is there
just
like an
huge.
elevator for the employees, or like how
I
do you get
think
down?
there is. I think
Yeah.
there is.
I was like, how do you get shit
You
down
get-
there?
so you can go back up. Yeah.
Yeah, or like get deliveries, you know, for
Yeah.
the food. And
Yeah.
can you imagine you got to carry it?
Oh hell no. Yeah, I
Is
know.
No shipping company's gonna bring you anything.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, we have
Oh,
to
yeah,
carry
those-
it down a cave? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Or get your own
Not
supplies.
part of my job description, man.
Yeah, get your own supplies. But yeah, man. So I don't know if you want to give a number rating to this movie. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
I would agree with that. I would think a 6 out of 10,
Yeah, 6 to 7. I
Is-
was thinking too.
and that's all story, all the
Yeah,
for the entirety of it.
and we're talking about a movie that could have just fell apart so
Yeah.
easily. I mean, this could have easily been just a disaster and a piece of
Yeah.
shit. You know.
Yep.
When you think about it.
Yeah, I think the idea of different, you're in the jungle, you're by the
Yeah.
coast, you're
Yeah.
on a train. It changes.
Yeah.
Had it just all been them trudging along the jungle or something like that.
Yeah.
it
One
might have been boring.
landscape.
Yeah, it might have been boring. So I think
true.
that's what helped a lot.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So I was thinking we could do like if you wanted to, I don't want to pigeonhole you or anything, but I was thinking we could do like a monster movie series if you
Oh yeah,
were interested in that. Maybe
absolutely be interested in that. Yeah,
just
for
whenever
sure.
whenever we felt like it, just talk about monster movies. Maybe I was thinking maybe next we could do The Host since we were talking about
Oh,
The
yeah.
Host.
Yeah, I'm down. I'll rewatch that one again this week.
Yeah, and I'd love to rewatch it anyways. So that
Yeah.
I'd love having like a purpose to if I'm gonna rewatch something, it's cool to have like I need to really pay attention because I'm gonna talk
Yeah.
about it. So
Yeah,
it makes me pay more attention, and
Yeah.
kind of look at it more intently, take notes and stuff like that. It's
Sure.
kind of fun.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Sounds good
Yeah.
to me.
Maybe after, who knows from there? Maybe tackle some Godzilla movies or something. Or you mentioned Cloverfield. I don't know if you like that movie, but I love Cloverfield.
Yeah. Oh no, I love Cloverfield. I love. I just haven't seen. There's like the third iteration of it.
Mhm. Oh,
I've
dude,
seen-
have you seen the 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Yes.
Oh, that was amazing.
I want to
fucking
see that one again too. By the way. But,
loved
yeah,
it. Oh my
yeah.
god, yeah. I would say that third one. I'd say give it a watch, but it's not as good.
Okay.
But yeah, I would not say don't waste your time or anything like that.
Okay.
In fact, I wouldn't mind rewatching it because I've only seen it the once. But it doesn't have any of the quite the magic, but it's a completely different movie. It's about astronauts and stuff, but it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't know anything about it, you'll be taken by surprise. Like, wait, what?
Okay, yeah, I don't know anything about it. So
Yeah, but it's kind of, the Cloverfield series is a weird thing because it's like none of them are really connected at all.
Okay, yeah, I guess
or they're not tightly connected. Like when I was watching Cloverfield Lane, I was like, okay, I guess this is maybe a prequel, or
what is it? Yeah, it's like,
or is it maybe happening at the same time, just in a different area?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think arguably Cloverfield Lane may be a better movie, but I love the original.
Yeah.
I love when that came out, people hated it. Do you remember the reviews and stuff?
Yes, dude. I was like, I thought it was cool, man.
Yeah.
Especially when you couldn't really quite see the fucking monster.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, you're just trying to see him.
Pretty scary too, like there's some terrifying moments in that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was a perfect homage to, Godzilla and stuff like that. And, I know that they said that the guy that directed that, he's pretty big now. He did his name is Matt something. He did the Batman movie, the recent one. But yeah, he said that he would actually love to do another Cloverfield movie, but bring it back to like a direct sequel to the first.
Oh hell yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, because he was talking about, he's like, yeah, I'm happy with the way that turned out, but with technology now, he's like, I could make that monster look so much better. So he's like, yeah, I'd love to go back to the basics, but use the technology we have now that we didn't have back then.
Damn, yeah, I could see that.
I would love to see that happen. Or he might have even mentioned a remake. I think he said, like, I think I'd like to read. That might have been what he said. He might have said, I'd like to redo it, but with But when you get into territory like that, it's almost kind of like bands re-recording classic albums.
Yeah.
Oh, we're way better now. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Just leave it and continue.
Yeah. So I would not prefer him to probably do a remake because I don't think it needs it. But
yeah, I don't think so.
If he wants to go back to that universe, I think I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it'd be cool to give myself a reason to watch a bunch of monster movies. Maybe The Fly.
Oh, dude, that's one of my favorites, man.
Yeah, me too.
One of my favorites.
It's a fucking amazing movie. I've been watching kind of a lot of Cronenberg stuff lately anyways. Yeah. His maybe tonight I might watch have you seen Possessor?
No. I know which one it is, but I have not
seen it. His Brandon Cronenberg, it's his son.
Oh shit.
But he's turning out to be a really good director himself. He just did Infinity Pool with Mia Goth and one of the Alexander Skarsgård, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to see that.
I've seen the title, but I haven't seen anything about that.
Yeah, no, I really want to see that. I like Brandon and I love Mia Goth.
I'm not sure who that is.
Mia Goth from she was in Pearl and X.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, among a few other things too, but she I think she's really rising up to be to do some great things. So. Yeah. So what do you got going on the rest of the day?
Just gonna hang out with the fam right now. We're gonna have just a cookout, dude.
Cookout.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that.
Some hot dogs, burgers. I think they're gonna do it for like the younger kids, like the Easter egg hunt and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Maybe you can throw a steak on there or something.
It's not, you know what? I know, right? We'll see. I probably will because I know they always buy a crap ton of everything. So
yeah, I'd be the one that runs to the store real quick. I mean, if you already have the grill on, I want to throw a steak on there.
Shit, I know. And it's funny too because like they tease me because I make steak the way it's supposed to be, like medium rare.
Oh yeah.
And so my whole family is like, no, you're gonna die from a disease. I'm like, dude.
Maybe if you ate it every single day, or
I'm like, it's not pork.
No,
you gotta. I'm like, at least give some justice to the animal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do some justice.
Yeah, I mean, the only time I'll ever eat a well done steak is when I accidentally overcook it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's like, oh well.
Yeah, then I'm like, well, I'm not gonna waste this.
Yeah.
I do, and I'm not great. At least half the time I overcook it to an extent. But every now and then I'll nail it. I'll get it perfect.
Yeah.
Like last time I grilled something, I did some lamb,
Yeah.
and I made it. I think I did medium, and it was fucking awesome.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice, dude.
it was
You have
fantastic.
a thermometer? I think that's a really good.
Oh, dude, yeah. I only bought a meat thermometer like a couple years ago, and I was like, what was I doing all this time?
Dude, right? It's a whole life. It's a game changer, man.
Yeah, that you can get it exact, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sure that's what they do at restaurants. That's
Oh
how
hell yeah,
you,
they
you
have to.
go to a restaurant, you get the same steak every time. That's how they do it. I'm sure they
Yeah.
have a system, you know, where everything is to the T. So
Yeah, for sure.
well, I better let you go. Get on your family stuff.
Thank you, sir. It was fucking badass to be here. Loved it. And I look forward to doing more creature features with you.
Yeah,
And
let's do
that's
the
gonna be
host
fun.
next.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm down for the host.
Is that on streaming somewhere? Do you know, or do you own it, or?
I'm pretty sure it's on streaming somewhere. I
Okay.
thought I had it too. I think my ex might have taken it. But
Uh-oh.
yeah, no, but
Well, if you
I
can
have
find it
access.
streaming anywhere, let me know, and I might be able to get a copy for you. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, for
if
sure,
it's
dude.
not, let me know.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Well, have a good family get together. Go eat some hot dogs and shit. And
You got it, man.
you going to work tomorrow? Or you have tomorrow
Yeah,
off, right?
we just had Friday off.
Oh, okay. That 3-day
Yeah,
weekend. Yeah, yeah.
it's still good. I mean, some districts have Friday, Monday, but
Oh,
we're not
that
that
would have been
cool.
awesome.
So. Ours is not that cool.
All right. Well, thanks, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, Eli. See you,
All
brother.
right.
Later,
See
man.
you.